Hey students, today we're going to start making our sketchbook, which is a single pamphlet book. You can see in the top corner up here. All you're going to need is computer paper and your cover paper that is in your art kit. Before we start, usually first week of school we do this, and I like to show that I can do magic. So I'm going to demonstrate my magic trick with this newspaper. I'm going to rip it in straight lines without any kind of folding or scissors or any kind of thing crazy like that. So watch my magic. Hold it up here. Wow, right? Pretty cool. I'll even demonstrate back here. Look how I do this. Usually I challenge a student to come up to the front of the class and try to do it, and I will show you what they usually do. What ends up happening is they go like this, and they try to rip it, do the same thing, and that happens. And then the whole class laughs, and it's really funny, and they're like, wait, how'd you do that? You're really magic. Does anyone know how I did that? If you've taken wood shop, you understand there's such a thing in wood is called wood grain. So paper's the same way. So what I do is I'm holding the paper straight up, so the top of my paper here, and I can rip straight from the top. Oops, because I'm going with the paper grain. If I rotate my paper sideways and then I try to rip sideways, it's ripping against the paper grain. So for example, on my computer paper here, I know just from experience that my paper grains are running in the same direction as my paper in terms of me holding it up vertically, right? So this is vertical. So when I was trying to rip the newspaper, I was holding it at the top and it was basically ripping between those paper grains. When I rotated the newspaper and I tried to rip it this way, my paper was ripping because it always wants to go with the paper grain. Now this is important. Why am I showing you this? This is important for when we do bookmaking, because you have to understand when you fold paper if you're folding with or against the paper grain. If I'm folding paper, at least cover paper, against the paper grain, my booklet's not going to lie flat. So here I know that my booklet's lying flat because I folded with the paper grain. But if I go against the paper grain, it's going to kind of lay like open a little bit, and maybe the edge might be kind of bumpy. So before we even start that though, what I want to do is make a smaller book than these large pieces of paper. So this here is 8.5 by 11 standard letter size. So in the graphic design world, my background here, anytime back in when advertising was printing and not print media versus social media, everything was printed and paper was a lot more relevant in terms of what we're doing. So what you want to know is that one letterhead size piece of paper, I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to use the back of my thumb as a burnishing tool. In the classroom we have like a flat piece of plastic, but I'm doing this because I want to get a really nice even crease, and I'm actually going to hinge it, fold it the other direction. Because for this, I don't like to use scissors because students can maybe cut the paper crooked. I tend to cut the paper crooked if I use scissors. And at this point, I'm going to make a little baby rip at the top, kind of pinch it with both fingers around the crease. But little baby rip just to get it started. Then I'm going to hold with my non-dominant hand, which is my left hand, and gently pull to the side and make a perfect straight rip. So now my letter size piece of paper, folded in half and ripped in half, is 2 leaves. I'm calling this piece of paper a leaf because now I'm done ripping. I don't need to break my paper down, rip it down any smaller than this. So in bookmaking, your pages are called leaves. So 1 letter size paper, folded, ripped in half, 2 leaves. I've got 2 leaves here. Now, if I fold this piece of paper, well, let's first of all talk about a leaf. In a computer document, if I wanted to print this, this would not just be 1 page, this would be 2 pages. We've got the front page and the back page, because in printing, I can print on both sides. So now we have 1 leaf equals 2 pages. Let me straighten that out a little bit. So now, because I need to make this into a book, I'm going to fold this in half. Notice I'm pushing against my left finger in the middle. I'm going to crease it in the middle, and I always burnish up and down towards me, just to get it nice and even so it doesn't kind of go crooked. Now when I fold it, I have how many pages? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. So 1 leaf folded in half is equal to 4 pages. So if you look at the bottom over here, let me see if I can Vanna White this. Pamphlet with 32 pages. How many pages, how many leaves folded do I need to get 32 pages? Well, if this is 4 pages, if one is 4 pages, into 32 is 8. So I need 8 of these. So let's go back to my computer paper. This is one. I made 2 here. So now I have 2 because remember I had 2 leaves. I have 2 of these. So I need 8 of those. To do that, I need my letter size paper folded in half. Remember, the big piece of paper I have to rip. So I'm going to rip that. And then I will fold this in half. And you take your time. I'm just doing this for the sake of the demo a little bit quicker. So, let me see. Like a cooking show, I pre-made some of these. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I should have a couple more. 5, yep, 6, 7, and I messed up on this one, so I'm not going to count that one. And then I have 8 here. So I have 8 good leaves that are folded together. That makes 32 pages. Now, how do I put this together? I want to open one, and I'm going to align my my straight edge with my straight edge, keep all my ripped edges on the top, and I want to open each page and lay it inside. So think of them as all laying on top of each other with the fold or the gutter all in the same spot. So I'm opening and laying them on top, making sure that there's 8 of these, which I already counted out. 7, 8. Let me just double check that. I feel like I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Okay, so now they will all close and I have my pamphlet. However, I need 2 covers. So my cover page, some of you have orange, some of you have blue, you have different colors. I'm going to take my orange cover stock paper. Now I'm going to fold this in half because remember I need to make it into leaves. I need to make it smaller. So notice when you fold your cover paper how bumpy and hard this is. So you know that you're folding against the grain. That's why if you fold cardboard, you'll get that kind of bumpiness. So I really have to burnish this really hard with my finger. In fact, I'm going to hinge this and go back and forth quite a few times so that I can make sure I get a nice, really nice clean rip. And when I rip it, I'm going to take my time. So let me, again, make the little baby rip at the top. So I'm kind of pinching the top of the paper. I'm going to very carefully fold this to the side, and voila. Okay, so now I have my 2 leaves, which are my 2 covers that I need to fold. So again, now when I fold this, let's move this out of the way. Now when I fold this, my fold is a lot smoother and my paper lays nice and flat. So now I know I'm folding with the grain of paper, not against it, which is why we made the book smaller, so we can always fold with. So again, I'm going to lay this flat, open it up, put my other cover inside, and then take my entire pamphlet pages inside of there so everything is stacked neatly. All my rip pages are on one side. I even have like a little piece sticking off, so maybe I will get that with scissors later. But that's it. The next step is to bind it. That's the next video.